In this module, we'll talk about how societal trends encourage the adoption of English. Today, we are living in an increasingly urbanized world. A high percentage of world population is now city dwellers. This trend towards urbanization is more popular in developing countries. It is because in developing countries, more and more people come to the cities in search of jobs. And also in developing economies, there are opportunities for people. There are more job opportunities available, and therefore people come to the cities in search of those jobs. An outcome of the urbanization all over the world is the popularity of English. As people move to the cities, they come to know about the trend of globalization in the world, and they realize how the knowledge of English can help them in progressing and development further. And therefore, they show a lot of preference for the use of English and learning English. Another point to note is that the middle class, the middle class that we see in the urban areas of a country, they are not just a consequence of a developing economy, but they're also a contributory factor. For example, when there is a rising middle class, it means that there are more and more people who are ready to buy different things. This indicates an increase in the number of consumers, which in turn leads to the stabilization of the economy. The increase in the number of consumers and buyers leads to the stabilization of an economy, and also it encourages a lot of investment within the country. So an urbanized middle class is also a contributory factor in our developing economy. It is perhaps because of this reason that the trend towards urbanization is higher in developing countries. For example, in Pakistan in 2017, until 2017, 39.7% of the population was living in cities. In China, 56.1% of the people live in cities, and this is said to be the highest growth rate of urban population in the world. Similarly, in India, 33.5% of the people live in cities. We must also understand that not all urban population is middle class. There are lots of people who live in the cities and are very poor. Mass migration to the cities, when a large number of people from the rural areas come to the cities in search of better jobs, etc. Not everybody is able to find good jobs. Not everybody has the qualification, the ability, and so many jobs are not even available in some of the cases. So all this gives rise to slums and slows down the growth of the economy. So this mass migration of people to the cities resulting in a large number of people being jobless, etc., and giving rise to a large number of slums, etc. All this slows down the growth of the economy. Another factor which is very important when we talk about these slums is the multilingual dimension, the linguistic diversity of these areas. Suppose a large number of people go to Karachi for jobs from different parts of Pakistan, Punjab, KPK, Balochistan, and those who are not able to find good jobs do not have a lot of money to depend on. So, of course, they'll be forced to compromise on the quality of life that they live, and they'll be living in slums. So there'll be this kind of linguistic diversity increasing in a city in a developing country. This linguistic diversity is not only an outcome of urbanization within a country, but is also an outcome of immigration. People who speak different languages have different opinions. Some surveys have even shown that people who speak different languages have very different opinions on different social issues. For example, the Spanish population in America, those who speak English have very different opinions on social issues like marriage, divorce, abortion, etc. And those who do not speak English have very different opinions. And this kind of linguistic diversity leading to conflicts in points of view is likely to create more conflicts in these cities, in these countries, etc. The difference in the use of the language, the linguistic diversity, the use of different languages is also likely to create differences in lifestyles and values. For example, we automatically assume in Pakistan that somebody who can speak English will have a very modern kind of an outlook, or if we see a woman clad in a Western dress, we will assume that that lady must also be very good at English, and it is the knowledge of English perhaps which has led to this westernized lifestyle, etc. So, this linguistic diversity is also likely to create differences in lifestyles and also different cultural values that a person believes in. Another outcome of linguistic diversity, or even more than that, urbanization and immigration, is linguistic attrition. And we do not have to go far again to understand linguistic attrition. We have this example in our own country. For example, people, let's say in the province of Punjab, people who migrate to the cities from the rural areas, it does not take them long to give up their own mother tongue, that is Punjabi, and turn to Urdu. This has been the practice in this part of the country for a long time now, and gradually we see that linguistic attrition is taking place. The younger generations of the Punjabi speaking families, they do not know Punjabi, so they are losing their native language. The same is true in case of immigrants to other countries, where when the younger generation of the immigrants, the next generation, they become so well versed in the language of the destination country. In most cases it is English, that they completely give up their native language. So we see this language shift taking place in different segments of society within a country and across countries. In many cases, English is the preferred language. As we have already said, that with urbanization, people start showing a preference for learning and using English. And this is true again in both cases when we look at societies within a country and also when we look at the immigrant situation. So English is used as a language of socialization by the young people, and this is also looked at as a language which provides the young people an escape from traditional values. So if you speak English, you are less bound to follow the cultural values of your own community or your own country. That is how the younger people look at the use of English. And this is, like I said already, not only true of immigrant situation, but also the use of English within a country, also in Pakistan, that the younger people think that the use of English will will make it possible for them to break away from the cultural norms or the values which the rest of the family or which their parents support or which their parents follow. So English is also not only increasing this linguistic diversity, but also encouraging this change in this shift in the use of the language, is encouraging a language shift. So this language shift is being encouraged by such trends in society as urbanization, immigration, and is leading to linguistic attrition and linguistic diversity.